depleting you of your energetic resource in order to dominate you without having to do it by physical force. But sometimes when you figure out the game, they use physical force to get you out the game because you be doing too good.
Mm.
They do a 1984 Philadelphia bombing on your ass because you living off your own grown vegetables and you saying to yourself and you teaching your people holistic living like Giant Africa was doing.
That's a whole show into its own, because you think about the Africas and the movement in Philly. You talk about Black Wall Street, and then you go into Rosewood, like all those, all autonomous, you know what I'm saying, self-deficient.
Everywhere, right. And then you got to remember, I had Elder pull this book up called Confessions of an Economic Hitman. All of your immortalized outlaws were economic hitmen that was sent out to shut down the local big mama banks so they can institute a central banking system to rustle the power away from the mothers across the land. The tribal mothers was the purse holders. And now they got to give it all back to her. And they don't like it. And we don't care. We got the same compassion they have for us.
That's facts. Big facts. Yeah,
they want to know how they gonna live when we take our shit back. That's not my responsibility. How you live when we take our stuff back? I hope you live as miserable as we did. I hope it come in increments of 10, like you wish your suffering upon us in increments of 10.
Mm-hmm. That's fact.
And if we get to find some of these dirty players and take their head, I want to pull the guillotine lever.
That part. Yes, sir.
Yeah. We already discussed the Irene Traoré Putin thing.
Yeah, they wanted to say, so yeah, we did. I think that was from earlier about well, I think what they were asking is, do you feel like Putin is legitimately backing him and has, really supporting him?
The same way I said earlier, the old guard got to give it to the new guard.
They might have came in late. Check out, if you'll be able to see the replay, family, in the live stream section of the channel, and then also the episode will be available soon once we can get in and get some editing done on and uploaded. But real quick, I got two more if we got time, Chief. One, Nicole's House of Wellness says she don't have a question, but she's curious about the Creole Pope in America, the first American Pope, which we kind of tapped in. I'm glad she asked that, because we talked about it on our last interview, our last interview. But then also I saw how they did a little switcheroo. What do you think was the reason of them doing what they did, was saying he had a little bit of this, a little bit of that, instead of just putting a black one out? What do you think that was about?
Well, they can't openly admit he black until we realize what the one drop means. Right. He a mama's boy. That's trouble for the church. Because as a mama's boy, the odds is that he won't follow his mama wishes. And if she's a Creole with Louisiana and Haitian roots, he already know what understood need not be explained. One big mama shit.
Well, there's that. So that's dope. And this will bring me to the last one I got, because I felt like this was a really good one too, regarding what all we spoke on. So one G-Force. So okay, now they're exposed. There's a new energy here now. So now what do we do to use all of this information and energy to our benefit?
We got to reach critical mass of awareness between as many other tribes as possible. The individual members' education is the goal in order to get them to be prepared to receive their birthright. Unfortunately, we're going to reach a point where we're going to have to give them shock and awe in order to wake their ass up. I don't know what it's going to look like, but it's going to be a massive release and download of information. And from there, that should wake their ass up. It could be anything from the Epstein files to the Diddy case to the Podesta files to the Hillary Clinton email scandal, or it could be something we ain't even seen yet. It could be some other event that we haven't even seen that triggered the shock and awe of information dump. It might be a computer hacker that spills top secret documents unredacted on the internet. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's a potential for a lot of those things because of we have to get as many people aware of the shift by the ages and the shift by the authority to rule over the people of Earth. The mothers exercise first right of the earth right, and she's godfathered in through the oral tradition of the tribes, being the original law of the land. Following the oral tradition, she got a right to reclaim the land for the tribal mothers to restore balance back to the land. The whole concept or idea is to put the power where it belongs to make everything run the way it's supposed to run, and Earth will become heaven again, and Atlas shrug and the parasites fall. Fuck them.
Yowzers. Yep. There's that. Man, yeah, that's deep. That's deep. Yeah, nah, that was dope, man. I definitely appreciate it, bro. It was another one of them ones. I knew this was gonna be a classic, just like the first one. It seems like time just flies by so fast, man. It was going on 3 hours. It seemed like 30 minutes to me, but hey, it is what it is. I appreciate you, big bro. Like that was another classic one for the archives, man. It definitely was for sure. Did you want to leave the tribe with anything else on the way out before we shut down the fire session tonight?
Yeah, each one teach one. We all gonna reach some.
Yes,
Are
sir.
you old? Are you old in the way, niggas? Move out these babies' way. Help them if you know how to help them. If you don't, get out their way. We already had our turn. We had our day in the sun, our chance to shine. We blew it. Now we take our experience to show the youth how not to blow it like we did.
Yes, sir.
And pass it forward. Pay it forward. The more people that you can teach them. Because the more you teach, the further your reach. You'll never know. You might wake up the next king of the earth.
Yes, sir.
By just teaching them a little bit of truth. You don't know who you're going to reach. But the reach is critical for the redemption of the righteous, which is the tribes with the rightful status of blood right, air right, heritable birthright. And they know who we is. They've been following us since birth. So don't think, even wage war. We never waged war. So we was always receptive to the offer of peace until 2024. Nope, 2019. Because when Chief Pontiac come out, Rod Hayes, one of the first things he said was, I don't care about your treaties. You never honored one. Right? All of your treaties is predicated on a constructed fraud. Therefore, cancel them all for non-performance. Okay, now, looking at the treaty game, it's a stall tactic in warfare. It's supposed to have been used to bring to a resolution the final conflict of a war. But when you sit down and have a treaty negotiation between the leaders, that's why you're not allowed to kill the heads of state. But America do it religiously. The head of state, your leader, my leader, supposed to negotiate terms in which we cease fire. We stop fighting. Right? Well, they treaties is not made with us. Them treaties that you seeing is made with Europeans, French, and Spaniards. They not made with the tribes. Right? Now, we have what's called ancillary treaties. It's treaties that came about as a leverage because the ones like the Chata and like Chief Warhorse clan, her elders was forced to make treaties because the other civilized tribes made treaties. So now she got to make, her people have to make some kind of treaty in order to be exempt from the war effort that's being waged against the people of the land. We never waged war, right? So when they call us outlaw tribes, them the tribes that was like, man, we ain't waged war against you. I'm not coming to talk to you about no damn treaty, right? But the treaties don't have no organic original names as the tribes was being calling themselves at that time. You got to remember, all our tribal names, all our names used to be tied to something in nature. You was either tied to the river, to the sun, to the sky, or to the earth. You was tied to the wind. You was tied to the elements. You was tied to the animals. That's why you got people running around with the name Fox and Wolf, right? Traditional so-called Judaic names. But the word wolf and fox not native to their tongue. Where in the hell they get it from? So we don't know what's taking place. It's a grand deception. Go back to Sun Tzu Art of War, and you'll find that he said all warfare. He didn't say some warfare, a little bit of warfare. He said all warfare, ALL. All warfare is predicated upon deception. Now, Karl von Clausewitz defended war. Karl von Clausewitz said war is an act of violence because of political ambition. Right? They telling us all this non-violent stuff, but they violently murdering us. The police shooting us down. They going up in these sisters' houses, shooting them in the bed at night. They shooting the babies in the park, and then they telling us to be non-violent. They telling you to be utterly insane. That's what they telling us. You have to be insane to accept violence against you with no retaliation of violence. Now, I found it kind of odd that all of the acts of violence in our community is against us, right? On all of the acts of violence in Paleface community is against them. Police shoot us all equal. The only people the police don't shoot down like they shoot down pale faces and Negroes is they don't shoot Asians down like that. They will shoot an Asian, but there's not enough of them for them to be a threat. So they don't shoot them down like that. They don't even, and then their lifestyle flies under the radar of what we call the criminal justice system. Right? There's very few Asians in prison. And they've been here for some hundreds of years, by the way. They've been here longer than prison's been here. Right? We amalgamated with many of them, and they dark as us now. Right? And they came over here, some of them was darker than us. Asians. And we don't want to have that discussion because it flies in the face of the doctrine of white supremacists divide and conquer mechanics of racism. Right? So this is why we tell y'all the treaties have nothing to do with us. They was all put together based on a deception. If they're based on deception, in law, that's called a fraud. Fraud vitiates all contract. To vitiate a contract means it's voided and never had weight. It's retroactively restricted. None of their treaties got nothing to do with us. They all fraudulent on our behalf. In relation to us, they treaties is frauds.
Yeah, they never honor anything. So that stands the reason why when Dr. York went in with the Yamasee thing, being that the Yamasee don't got no treaties with them, they considered like an outlaw tribe. Besides the international is on file in 1993.
They call them the United Nations call them OMEX, Elder.
Yeah,
that's what the United Nations identify the Yamasee as OMEX, but they still don't say they got no treaties with them.
No, they don't got no treaties with the United States. I looked it up several times. They got they got international recognition, but not treaties with the United States. So they consider like an outlaw tribe. So that makes sense that why they would try when Doc go in there with the Yamasee, they say, oh well, we don't give down. They don't honor no paperwork. They don't honor nothing. So how does that work when Like, so we shouldn't even go in there with no treaties, talking no treaty. They don't give a damn about no treaty.
Well, if they did.
Okay.
Now you notice that big old gigantic word if.
Right.
At the beginning of that sentence. If they did, we would be able to use treaties to make the government stand down on most cases.
Yeah.
But since they don't, which takes away the if factor because they don't honor them. Yep. Matter of fact, in the Dred Scott case, who do you think they was talking about when they said that they don't have no rights that a white man bound to respect? They got nothing to do with skin color.
Right.
He's got some chess terms.
Yeah. Yeah, because what's
being hashed out in legal leagues.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So they got a game going in chess. Civilly mortis is the black, right? And the white nobility is the white. The first move was made by the white. That's called offensive chess. And the response to the move of the white was the black. That's defensive chess. The rosters turned the board around because they said if they're going to attack us using the philosophy of chess, we have to change how we play chess, and we have to use our defense as viable offense. We got to defensively attack. What the government call it in this era something called a preemptive strike. There's no such thing.
Right.
There's no such thing as a preemptive strike. I was scared you was gonna blow me up, so I blowed you up first. That's retarded. The whole thing with warfare, and this is what's up. It's more facets of warfare than people could possibly understand in a civilian life. You have to be a student of war and combat. And thousands of years of war and combat have molded the reality that we live in today.
Right.
Right. So we have to study warfare. Then you understand why all your street blocks are square. When they used to be concentric circles going into the downtown area.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Right. Now they're not concentric circles no more. That's called militarization of the village. The whole part about squaring off the corners, that's Masonic. It's because it's giving you a clue of who's involved. Squaring off the corners in regimented style. Regiment is military. Squaring of the corners is Masonic.
Right.
Garvey had a whole military ready to tear something up till he read the ledgers and he say, well, I can't do too much now. I just realized they got another 100 years of this 200-year George Washington challenge. So if it take us 200 years, it don't matter. Up you mighty people, do what you will. We still could fight within the confines of the restrictions to educate ourselves above the condition, but they teaching y'all that education is toxic because they use toxic education to oppress you. Right.
Hey, Rob.
What's going on there? If you get my shirt?
I want to cut you. Yeah. Okay. Hey, yeah. So, Rod, would it be safe to say the Bible was some type of form of treaty because it kind of like say turn the other cheek, love your enemy? You know what I'm saying? It got like it makes us passive. Go ahead.
The Bible is a contract, and the Bible is not just only a contract though. It's also the map to get out of the contract is in the book.
Go ahead. Fire.
But not only is it a map to get out of the contract being in the book, the parameters of the war is also in the book. Right? They tell you it's against Esau and Jacob. Mm-hmm. And we not realizing what they telling us. Esau means ruddy red earth, clay, the born of the earth. Jacob means supplanter, underminer, usurper.
That's right.
So the war is between Esau and Jacob. Now, the miseducated Hebrews think that Esau means pale face. That's not what it means. Adam wasn't a pale face. The word for Adam, Adama, and the word for Edom, Adama, is the same word.
Yeah.
They just tricked us by translating one with an E and one with an A because all vowels are interchangeable according to Grimm's law of grammar. Right? So we thinking that Adam and Edom mean two different things, but the war is always been against Adam. And what was the number one tool they used against Adam?
His woman.
They turned him into a rat. He was the first recorded rat in the history of the world.
Oh yeah, he told him. Yeah, I see where you're going. Go ahead.
Right. So, but why did they do that to him? To compromise his manhood. Eve wasn't the problem. Eve was the solution. If you eat from this tree, like Nachash said, the whisperer, the one with the lisp, the one who know how to conjure, if you eat this fruit, we ain't gonna be their slaves no more. We gonna figure our way out of this. And then he turned on his woman. As soon as he turned on his woman, that was the fall of man. You can't turn on your woman.
As
soon as you turn on your woman, that's the fall of man. That's literally a reenactment of the fall of man.
Go ahead, bro.
But a lot of these women have misunderstood what does it mean to turn on your woman.
Go ahead.
When you push your woman between you and the enemy, that's what it means. You can't never put your woman between you and the enemy. The woman supposed to push you between her and the enemy because you supposed to be there to bust his head.
Go ahead.
But you ain't gonna be there to bust his head because you telling on your woman. Man. Oh man, I don't want no smoke with you, dog. You know, that's my girl, man. You know how she is. You know how the brothers be in the hood. Oh man, you know how my girl is, man. I just, man, I want problems always. I want all the problems. If you mess with man, I'm not turning down no problems. But it might not come in the reaction that you expect. Right? Because remember, all warfare is based on deception. I'm going to make you believe one thing, but you didn't already violate it, so I'm going to make sure you understand it. FAFO Generation X. We've been squaring up since I can remember. I don't remember when we wasn't squaring up. I remember now when we switched from squaring up to busting caps.
Right.
So it ain't even safe to square up no more because these dudes are too sissified. They too effeminate, pusillanimous, right, to even stand there toe-to-toe with another man and see who the better man is. Right. The better man ain't just who could throw the hands the best. Sometimes the better man is the loser of the fight, but it's what he did after the fight that made him the better man.
Right. Right.
See? So a lot of people not paying attention.